Hello everyone, this is Robert Zach from AndroidPIT bringing you a hands-on video review of the Sony Xperia Z3 Plus. So if you're wondering what happened to the Xperia Z4, we can tell you that this is the Xperia Z4 that was announced in Japan about a month ago. There are just a couple of minor differences between this and that phone, namely that the Japanese version has RFID card support, which is specific to the Japanese market. So first glance at the phone it's typical of Sony Xperias. It's very light, it's got a nice kind of subtle design. This is the aqua green finish on the back here. You can't see the greenness of it too much, but it's a very sort of nice light and airy finish. On the right side of the phone we've got a nice sort of grippy textured power button, a volume rocker and a camera shutter button, which will definitely please the photography enthusiasts out there. At the bottom we've got a capless micro USB port, and we're pleased to say that it is waterproof and dustproof. So you can take your phone underwater, you don't have to worry about having horrible flaps on the phone, and you don't have to worry about it getting water drenched, because despite not having a flap, this is waterproof, which we're very pleased with. And on this side we do have a flap covering the micro USB and the SIM card slot. Moving around to the top of the phone we've got a headphone jack, and on the back we have the 20.7 megapixel camera, which is capable of 4K video capture. It's got a 25mm wide angle G lens, 8x digital zoom, HDR, the usual features you would expect, as well as steady shot mode, which is kind of an equivalent to optical image stabilization. We can see that it's got a flash under the camera here as well. Moving on to the operating system, it's an Android Lollipop with Sony's own UI laid over the top of it. If you look closely here you can see that there is actually a Walkman app on here, which Sony talked about dropping and replacing it with a standard music player app, but it seems that for now at least the Walkman lives on for all you Walkman and Discman nostalgics out there. There's a Snapdragon 810 chipset on board, which is the same octa-core chipset as we've seen in phones like the HTC One M9. Now there have been some complaints that chipset has been causing overheating, it's been draining battery very fast, but from our experience those issues were fixed, so hopefully we won't be seeing any of those problems on the Xperia Z3 Plus. Of course you'll have to wait for the full review for us to give you the full lowdown on that. On board here also is a 2900 mAh battery, which is capable, according to Sony, of a 2-day battery life. That's very impressive on paper, but of course we need to test these things out ourselves to really see if it's capable of lasting that long. There's a battery stamina mode, which is effectively a power saving mode on here, which is fairly standard for phones these days. Dragging down the notifications menu we can see that it's pretty much the same as stock Lollipop. So we're always happy to see stock Lollipop features retained. We think it's a really good looking OS, and Sony has done that with the notifications menu here. Of course it's going to contain sort of smart locking and various other features that we love about Lollipop. Here you can see we've got the material design, recent app screen, which is always good. The display is 5.2 inch. It's not QHD, it's a full HD display, IPS LCD. From our experience it seems nice and clear. It doesn't seem jaw-dropping by any means, but again we'll have to install some software on here and really put it to the test, sort of put it side by side against top displays out there like the Galaxy S6 and the LG G4 to see how it really matches up to them. Of course it won't in terms of resolution, but just to sort of see what the color reproduction etc. is like on the Xperia Z3 Plus. So that's pretty much everything for this phone. It's very hard to tell at first glance how well it's going to perform, but we like the look of it. We've always liked the look of Sony Xperia phones, and hopefully this will help Sony get back on track in the smartphone game. So for more Android news reviews for the Sony Xperia Z3 Plus review as soon as it goes up, go to AndroidPIT.com and subscribe to our AndroidPIT YouTube channel for the latest tips and video reviews and hands-ons from AndroidPIT.